Welcome everyone to the first edition of the Rocket League Academy here on Esports.ch. My name is Syntax, Rocket League player for Silent Gaming, and with this video series I will try to help you guys improve in Rocket League, help you understand the game better, and give you some crucial tips and tricks which can help you on your journey through the ranking ladder and through the journey to Grand Champion. So in this first video I will go over the basic settings and bindings to help you understand them, and I will show you my settings and control bindings and tell you why I chose them. So let's not waste any time and let's get right into it. Okay guys, first I want to talk about the camera settings, and the camera really depends a lot on preference. So I'm just gonna go through all the different settings, explain what they do, and then give you like my opinion on what is the best setting. Like, there is no best setting of course, but yeah, you will have to play around with it. So first things first, you should always turn off camera shake. That's like a must, because camera shake really distracts you from like what's going on the field, and it doesn't give you really precise hits on the ball, and you can't really see everything you need to. So definitely turn camera shake off if you haven't done so already. Now the field of view defines how much of the field you see at once. So if you would turn it all the way down, you would only see what's right in front of your car, and if you have it high up, you can almost see half of the field at once. So I would suggest you to have it rather high up. I like mine not all the way to the max, but pretty high on 107, because if you have it all the way on 110, you will see that stuff that is on the side of your screen and goes by you on the side of your screen will feel like it's much faster, because the screen stretches a bit when you max out the field of view. So that's why I turn it down a little bit, but you will have to play around with it and see what feels best. And that's really for all those settings I'm going to talk about. Now distance and height is of course how far away and how high the camera sits behind your car. Now as you see, I like mine kind of in the middle almost. Now the thing is, you don't want to have it too far away from your car, because then you lose accuracy and precision on the ball, and it will get harder to see where your ball hits the car and how you have to angle it if you have distance and height high up. But also I would not turn it too far down, because then your car will be really close to the camera, and it's gonna be hard to see like everything that's going on and still control your car. So of course you'll have to play around with it, but my suggestion is to have it somewhere around in the middle, like not too far up, not too far down. Now the angle is in which angle the camera sits behind your car. So if it more like looks down on your car, or if it's like straight behind your car. So if you put the angle further down, you will have like the advantage that you can see over the ball a little bit. Same with the height if you turn that up. So with certain camera settings you have the advantage that you can see over the ball when you're dribbling it, and see your opponents and see when they are challenging. But of course you will lose some accuracy on the ground, in the air, in my opinion. But like, that's your decision what's more important to you. So the angle, most people have it around -5 and 0, I would say. I like mine at -3. Now the stiffness is very interesting, and I'll have to show it to you really quick in the training. The stiffness, if it's low down, it will mean that when your car goes really fast, it will move further away from your from the camera a little bit, and when you have it high up, that means that the car always stays at the same point of your of the camera view. So I will show this to you really quick in the free play. Okay, so my stiffness is very low. I have it on 015, and you will see that when I go full speed, that the car actually moves pretty far away from the camera. So now you can see the car is pretty far away, and when I brake it comes back close. So on the other hand, if I go ahead and put stiffness all the way to max to 1, you can see that the car doesn't move at all. So I just turn the boost on again. So if I go max speed, you can see any speed I go, the car is always at the same spot on my camera. And this is really just a preference thing. There are a lot of people who have low or high settings here. I just like to have mine on low because when I go full speed, I can see better what's going on around my car. And yeah, you just have to play around with it and see what fits you. Now, the last two things, swivel speed and transition speed. Swivel speed defines how fast the camera moves when you use your right analog stick, and the transition speed defines how fast the camera switches between the ball cam view and the normal view. So those are all the camera settings, and we'll go ahead and go to the controls. Okay guys, so next I want to talk about controls, the dead zones, and my controller bindings. So first, what we see here is controller dead zone and dodge dead zone. So those two things define how far you have to move your stick for the input to be actually sent to the game. And there's a very good website actually that I found that I will also put in the description of this video, which you can try it yourself. But the website lets me visualize and explain this really good. So the dead zone, if you put this very low, you will have to move your stick only very slightly for the input to be actually noticed by the game. And if you put your dead zone high up, you have to move your stick very far before your car even moves. Now, same with dodge dead zone. Now, if you put your dodge dead zone very low, you will only have to move your stick very slightly for a second jump to be noticed as a dodge. And if you set the dodge dead zone very high, you will have to move your stick rather far for a second jump to be noticed as a dodge and not just a double jump. So those are those two things. Now, the next important settings are steering sensitivity and aerial sensitivity, and this just defines how sensitive or how fast your car reacts to movements. So I would not set this too high because you lose precision, and I just have the steering sensitivity on 1.3 and the aerial on 1.1, not too high, so I still have a lot of control over my car, but I still can do fast enough movements. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about today are my controller bindings, and I'm just gonna show you my bindings and explain to you why I chose them, because you can get a lot of advantages if you customize your bindings. Of course, you don't have to, this is just preference, but I want to give you guys some idea on how you could change your controller bindings. So the first special settings I have is my air roll and the power drift I have on my left bumper, and the boost I have on my right bumper. So I just like to have my controls spread out over the controller, so one of my fingers doesn't have to do too many actions at once. So that's why I have air roll and power drift on the left bumper, because those two settings you never use at once. You never air roll on the ground and you never power drift in the air, so you can easily put those two on the same button. Now the boost I have on R1, just because my right index finger is free, I can accelerate with my right middle finger, and it just feels comfortable for me to boost with my right index finger on the right bumper. Now, other special things I changed is the ball cam. I changed to X or square on a PS4 controller, just because I can have my thumb on the A and the X button at the same time, and can jump and switch the ball cam at any time with no movement of my thumb. I can just leave all my fingers where they are and control my car that way. And yeah, those are pretty much the only special settings I changed to my controller. So I hope this gives you some idea on what maybe you could change, or maybe what feels comfortable for you. I would just suggest you to try some things out, play with it a little bit, and then decide if it is right for you. And yeah, those are my controller bindings. Alright everyone, so this was everything we had to talk about today. I hope I was able to give you a good overview of what the most important settings are about. Be sure to remember that everything depends on preference, so you have to test all the settings out and see what feels best for you. But yeah, be sure to check out more Rocket League Academy in the future. There will be more videos coming. Thank you for watching, and I wish everyone a good day. See you next time.